Hi guys, hope you had a great Easter weekend. Um, Last week we talked about revolutions and these clashes of ideas with nationalism and liberalism and conservatism. With the old guard really being represented by conservatism, that hey, we want things the way they were. We talked about liberalism as far as people pushing for greater rights, greater freedoms. And then you also had nationalists who are saying, hey, a lot of these people are saying, hey, we want our own country, we are our own nation, we are our own group of people, we want our own country for that group of people. And so, guys, this week we're going to talk about how these things really heated up. You really had a lot of drastic change taking place, especially in Europe at this time in the late, I guess, kind of midish to late 1800s, where things are really going to change. It's really going to set a tone for the century to come, for the 1900s. Okay, and so today we're going to look at this concept of unification. So we're going to start talking about Germany, guys. Remember, um, way back, way back to the Middle Ages, we talked about Germany was not a place. You had all these little small independent principalities um, that we think of Germany now as, but back then there was no Germany. Um, so we talked about that before, guys. And so that was the case in the 1800s as well. Is you still have a Germany that is these small independent countries, principalities, and then some larger kind of areas as well. But there is no Germany. There's only the nation of Germany, nation of Germans, right? So with nationalism, you have Germans saying we need to create a German state. We need a country. We need our own country for Germans. We think Germans are awesome. Therefore, we should have our own country for Germans, and where we can be awesome together, and be more awesome than the rest of all you, right? Because that's nationalism, right? Is you're trying to put your country above someone else's, above all other countries. Okay, so Germany is going to go on this path of unification, of taking these German principalities, these German states, and putting them together to create a German country. Okay, and so 1862, you have Otto von Bismarck. He becomes prime minister of Prussia. So remember, guys, Prussia is essentially present day East Germany. So this was, if you guys remember, the largest kind of German state. Um, it was a fairly strong military power. We talked about it during the French Revolution and also the Napoleonic Wars. They played an integral role. Remember, guys, it was Blucher's Prussians who showed up around sunset at Waterloo to push the battle, push the balance of the battle, balance the fighting in favor of the coalition, in favor of the British against Napoleon. Right, so uh, Prussia's been around for a while. They're a military power, and they speak German. Right, so it's basically East Germany now. So it makes sense they would speak German. Okay, so they identify as Germans. And so, guys, later on, Bismarck is going to rise to the rank of Chancellor. This is the most important appointed position. So the Prussians, they still had, emperors, they still are rulers, kings. Um, and so, uh, besides that hereditary position of king or emperor, the next best thing is to be the chancellor in Prussia, which that's the highest appointed position, right? So the king says, "Hey, your chancellor. So he's basically the second most powerful person in Prussia. And guys, Otto von Bismarck, he is the ultimate master of what will become known as realpolitik. And so realpolitik, it is this principle that, or this kind of school of thought that power is more important than principles, meaning it doesn't matter what you believe, what you believe in, your morals. You need to do whatever you can do to strengthen your position the best in politics, including international politics. Okay, so if I have to be dastardly and trick another country and go to war with another country or whatever to improve my country's power and my political power, I'm going to do it, even if it's against my morals or anything like that. Okay, so very much a play off of, guys, if you remember Machiavelli, right? So Machiavelli, kind of the ultimate realist, which that's basically what that breaks down to. Realpolitik in English is essentially real politics. So being kind of a realist of, hey, this is the situation. Yeah, we can want things to be fair and moral and right, but that's not always how it's going to be. So that's a school of thinking. That's a way of thinking, and so he was a master of that, of as far as kind of navigating the political landscape of Europe and manipulating people and basically saying, okay, this is what's in the best interest for my country, Prussia, and for me politically. So he was very good at that. Um, so, guys, he really, as Chancellor said, we need a unified German country. He said, hey, Prussia can lead the way on this. We are the largest um, kind of German state, most powerful German state. We need to lead the way on this. We can make this happen. Okay, and so he kind of goes about trying to unify Germany. So, guys, by doing that, he's going to go and he's going to try and seize territory from Denmark, which is a independent country. So he's going to take control of Schleswig, is my best pronunciation at that. A territory in Bismarck where a lot of German-speaking people live. That's typically the kind of thinking for Bismarck and a lot of these nationalists is, okay, if you have people that have kind of the same traditions, the same language and all that, that means, and that's where they live, that means that should be our territory. That should be part of our nation state. Okay, and so in this case, that should be part of Germany. Okay, these are traditional German ethnic groups, German-speaking people. So even though they live in a place that's controlled by Denmark, it should be controlled by this new German state that we're creating. Okay, another way that they gained territory and built on this German state, guys, was 1866. You have the Austro-Prussian War. Okay, and so this was a pretty short war. It only lasted 7 weeks. It was a decisive victory for Prussia. So they went in, boom, knocked them around. Like I said, guys, Prussia, one of the most powerful militaries of the time. So they really gave to Austria, took several territories from Austria, which, guys, Austria also speaks German. The Austrians do, and so a lot of territory, a lot of people that could end up being part of this German state as well from Austria. And then also in France, guys. So in Eastern France, you have groups of people that are traditionally speaking German, follow German culture, have German ethnicity, and so he's saying, hey, these should be territories of this new Germany we're creating, we're building as well. And so they want to take those territories. They're trying to force war. He's trying to force a war with Prussia. This is a great example of his skill as a politician, as a master of realpolitik, guys. Um, so there's this rivalry forming between Prussia and France. They're competing for land, for territory, for power, for prestige. And basically what happens is Bismarck, he thinks, hey, how can I draw France into a war? I don't have really public support for a war against France. How can I draw France into a war so I can beat them, take their territory, and increase the size of my German state? So basically what he does is he tricks Napoleon the Third. Remember, he has named himself Emperor of France. They got rid of the Republic, the Second Republic, and created this new French Empire, the Second French Empire. So basically, guys, Bismarck, he makes it look like the Prussian king was insulting a French ambassador. And so Napoleon III, he's looking for any opportunity to divert his people from the problems that are going on at home in France with the economy and all that. And he's like, hey, great, a war. That solves my problem. We can get real patriotic about this. A lot of nationalist feelings about fighting a war against Prussia. Everybody will come together. This will be great. So this is the M's dispatch, guys, was this dispatch that was sent out that Napoleon III received, where he went, oh, how dare you insult my ambassador. And this kind of gives him grounds for declaring war against Prussia, which is exactly what our guy Otto von Bismarck wants. And so, guys, in this war, once again, Prussia, clearly the superior army, they beat the French in a matter of weeks. But this is going to be very important, guys, because this is going to really set the tone later on between a rivalry. So now it's not just going to be Prussia, it's going to become Germany, a rivalry between Germany and France. This is going to really set the tone for that. And so, guys, after these victories against Austria, against France, that really gets these southern German principalities, southern German countries, I guess, if you will, right? These princes that are running them to decide, hey, okay, we could have something here. Maybe we do want to be a part of this German state, this German confederation. And so they say, hey, William the First of Prussia, we want you to become the Kaiser. We want you to be the emperor of this new German state. And so that's what he'll take the title of, is Kaiser Wilhelm the First. And so this will be the dawn, the start of the Second Reich, which essentially means Second Empire, Second German Empire, in 1871. And so the first being, obviously, guys, if you remember, the first German Empire being the Holy Roman Empire under our guy, sorry guys, blanking on it, basically under Charlemagne, Charles the Great. Okay, so guys, Bismarck, he drafted a constitution. This was not because he's like, hey, go people's rights, go democracy, created a two-house legislature. He created this constitution, created a two-house legislature for this German confederation, for this German empire, to make the liberals in Germany happy. Here, see, look, I'm giving you guys representation. I'm giving you some rights when it's very weak. It's very flimsy. Okay, so that's kind of the situation with that. All right, guys, that does it for today. Next video, we'll be talking about Italy and Italian unification. But for now, have a great start to your week, and I'll talk to you later.